Imagine the softest sheets you've ever felt. Now imagine them getting even softer over time. I'm here to tell you about Boll & Branch and how you can discover this new level of softness with their iconic sheets. In a recent customer survey, 96% responded that Boll & Branch sheets get softer with every wash. They source the rarest 100% organic cotton for an incredible softness to start. Then they skip the toxins and harsh chemicals for a natural feel unlike anything else, and it all comes together with their signature weave. This special design feels buttery, breathable, and unlocks new levels of softness with every wash, and they stand behind their promise of softness. With their 30-night guarantee, you can wash, style, and sleep in their sheets for an entire month. If during the 30 nights, you don't love your sheets or feel them getting softer and softer, you can send them right back. No questions asked. So head to bollandbranch.com for 15% off your first order with code Odyssey. That's BOLL and branch.com. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
The following is a GoPowerCat.com and Spirit Street production. You've discovered your link to GoPowerCat.com's PowerCat Insiders podcast, presented by Commerce Bank, and it starts right now. Now, let's go to the WTC Gig-Powered Studios. Here's your host, GoPowerCat.com publisher, Tim Fitzgerald.
Welcome to another edition of the PowerCat Insiders podcast brought to you by Commerce Bank. Today, we're happy. We're going to talk about a victory. Just when you didn't think it would happen, it happened. K-State beats Iowa State.
Whoa.
What?
Victories.
Well.
Lots of them.
Okay, lots of victories.
Not just one. Lots.
And we got baseball. Baseball kicked some ass.
Women's hoops did the same.
Women's hoops did the same.
Rowing won.
The Sac State Relays.
Rowing won.
Sacramento.
Equestrian team didn't shoot a horse.
No, you can't say that.
There's no equestrian team.
I know. Well,
Equestrian.
did they give their horses away?
Was K-State pretty good when they had one? Were they pretty decent?
They're only like 4 nationally, so yeah.
Well, they're like 16 or something.
Yeah, they were okay. They were okay.
I one time traveled on a plane with the entire equestrian team. It was hilarious, the luggage they had to bring on the plane.
Wow.
They all had their own special bags for their cowboy hats.
That's awesome.
What are you laughing at? You're from the South. You know all about that, NASCAR.
Well, but that's a little bit, the cowboy hat thing's a little bit, that's more like
Western.
Southwest.
Yeah, it's more Western.
Oh, easy in that car.
I'm just saying, I mean, I don't have a cowboy hat.
I don't. I'm sure you don't, but they're everywhere else in the South.
So, did they have the horses in the little underseat containers and just slide them?
I believe the horses traveled separately.
Okay.
My favorite thing about equestrian is the mishmash between the fact you've got like the most country Western is half of it, and then you got the very prim proper.
Yeah.
It's the other. It's like
It's like two different things. Yeah.
It's just, I just like it that it's like we're
You just
urban
said
and
like
city.
9 times in 3 seconds.
Like.
It's like having a chess tournament, but there's another division for beer chugging.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a nice mesh of two different cultures, I think.
Beer chest.
You want to start over?
Beer chest. No, I like this. This is good.
Every
Everyone's
time you
lose.
take a piece, you chug a beer.
Matt, you
wanna play?
can't
wants
get
to
upset
play?
because you're who initially took it off when he was trying to start just a regular intro, and then you kind of butted in.
Do you have a chess set? Can we play that while we do this?
I don't have a chess set.
I know you got beer.
I'm not even. I'm
going to introduce everybody.
Okay.
That's Tim Fitzgerald from PowerCat, from GoPowerCat.com. I'm Matt Walters, a.k.a. at Chili Dog Matt W. on Twitter.
Yeah, because apparently you got forgotten this week.
From the K-State, that's another topic.
right.
K-State Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Dad from the Wichita Eagle and Kansas City Star, a.k.a. Kellis, is here, and Catfish, sports editor of the Manhattan Mercury.
You didn't say my name, Ryan Black.
Ryan Black, I know.
Thank you.
Close enough. Do you need this for the read now?
Yeah, I do.
We're sponsored by Commerce Bank.
Whatever financial challenges come your way, Commerce Bank can help. Commerce Bank challenge accepted.
Off to a roaring start, I'd say.
So how did that happen last week?
What?
The invention of beer chest?
No.
Oh.
A guy expressed his love for the Insiders and the Overtime podcast,
Right.
and linked everyone but you.
So it wasn't your fault.
No,
it wasn't.
my fault. It was just some guy.
It was just a listener.
Is an avid listener who enjoys the overtime, and I think that says everything you need to know about him right there.
Are you allowed to describe like how you got your your nickname? Like what, the chili dog? Where did that come from?
Oh, yeah, before you were born.
Oh, okay.
Would you
Talking
like to,
about baseball and what you eat when you go to the ballpark at Kauffman Stadium, and I said chili dog dripping with cheese, chili, onions, mustard. Next morning I showed up and I started being called chili dog.
Wow, okay, awesome.
Matt's a fan of putting incredibly weird stuff into his system to see what happens.
It's gotten less.
Yeah, well, you're getting old.
Exactly.
And that brings us to Kansas State basketball.
How about that?
I would give Matt a platform here first to speak to this person who left him out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let him know who you are.
Remember, he was a loving, caring listener who was avid enough to tweet at us and smart enough to forget you.
Do you have 4 tires on your vehicle
This sounds like an ad.
that are aired up?
At the moment?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to hold a grudge, but
Not for...
get with the program, Chief.
I don't think the show would exist without him, right? And his bank?
No.
So-
No, exactly. And his bank.
Man, it sounds like a Godfather kind of hit, though. You go out and try to turn on your
I've
car
got
and then
multiple jobs for a reason.
Commerce Bank. Presented by Matt Walters.
When shots go in, it changes life, doesn't it?
And Iowa State's bad. Iowa State's out of
when
people.
the other team doesn't bring its players.
Yeah.
But let's start with Xavier Sneed. Career high 31 points. Hell, he had a career high by halftime. Cooled down in the second half. But X had a different look in his eye than I've seen maybe since the Kentucky game. He had that look against Kentucky where every time he put it up, he truly thought it was going in.
Outside of his first shot.
Oh, his first shot was
His first shot.
That's funny because I noticed that, and that happens to shooters once in a while. The first one just totally comes off your hand wrong, and then after that, everything's great. It's beautiful.
It was 5 feet short, and then he got locked in.
Best he shot the ball in his entire career.
There was one moment, I think, in the first half when he was, flaming hot, where the moment he crossed midcourt, he had his hands out, was looking at Cardi. He was like, "You
give me the ball,
son of a bitch! Give me the ball right now!
Give me the ball."
Made me kind of wish we'd have seen that all season. I mean,
I love it when shooters get in the groove. It's just beautiful to watch. They want the ball. They don't care if they're 10 feet beyond the 3-point line. They want the ball.
One thing that I felt like I noticed was different. Maybe this is just me being crazy, but I feel like I said, after that first miss, it seemed like every other shot he hit, he threw up after that had more of an arc to it. And I just feel like a lot of times he shoots a lot more like line drive kind of shots. And it's just like, because basically, like God said, after the first miss, I think you could just tell kind of every time it left his hand when it was going to go in.
Most really good shooters put up moonshots. They drop in the basket instead of having a narrow window to get through the rim.
Exactly right.
It was beautiful to watch. I was really happy for him as a person and a player. Because this season has sucked. There's no other way to say it. It's sucked. And to go out that way with a career high in points, absolutely whacking a Big 12 opponent, kissing the Power Cat. I mean, that's how you script it for the kid, isn't it?
And your teammates understood that you were the one that needed the ball.
Yeah.
And they got him the ball.
it was a fitting end. I'm glad he went out that way. I mean, we're all supposed to be neutral, but I really wanted these seniors to go out.
You know, that's the thing about our job is we're supposed to be neutral, but we get to know the kids. You know, we get to know, and let's be honest, some of the kids we really enjoy being around him, and X is one of them. He's just a good kid, good family, and you want good things for people like that. Even if it's not defined in wins and losses, having a happy moment like that's pretty good. The team was happy. Boy, they just played loose. After X started hitting shots, they were turning over Iowa State. Iowa State was so bad. Oh, my God. They didn't even look like anywhere near a Big 12 basketball team in that
19 turnovers on 21 made shots.
Yeah,
did you see they have the worst odds at the Big 12 tournament now, Iowa State? They downgraded them to a 150-1 shot. K-State's only 125-1. Shows you how good they were without their two best players.
Well, right, and it was like they were 7.5-point underdogs Saturday?
So, yeah, 7-point underdogs.
Yeah, so, I mean, that kind of, because like people were asking, were you shocked that K-State won? I'm like, well, no, not. And even, I'll be honest, I even thought they were going to win even if Bolton had played. I just thought that, hey, I mean, without Halliburton, and given that K-State wanted to not end the regular season on an 11-game losing streak, I would have picked them if you'd asked me straight up.
I did pick them, but it was like a coin flip. Bolton played, but without him the media team could have given Iowa State a shot.
We're not good.
Probably. Chili Dog had been raining threes.
Media team.
Would have given a better effort than Prom's answer about Caleb Grill. Effort. He just gives effort.
Played him 38 minutes, though. Scored 5 points.
Yeah, well.
And one of them came with the buzzer.
Came with the buzzer.
Was that the thinking? Was you going to do a story about, like, because obviously he was someone who K-State had wanted as well, and then he didn't give you anything. So you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to write about him now.
I wasn't going to write anything. I was just curious.
About why?
I know Caleb. I talked to him a lot. And 38 minutes.
He's your homeboy?
Well, he's from Wichita. I mean, there were like 50 people there cheering him on. Yep. So, I mean, had he scored like 30 and hit a game-winning shot, maybe I'd have written about him. But
no, I mean,
he did not come to K-State, leaving a scholarship open, and that was given to Pearson McAtee for the start of the season.
That's right, yeah.
And
that's a good point.
Pearson got his first career start, had a career high in points, which I'm trying to find right now.
Speaking of fitting,
6.
Even though it was a broken play, that was the perfect way to start the game.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, he also had 6 at Baylor in that just bloodbath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't see the dunk.
Yeah.
I had to see it. The Classy Cats come out, right before the game. And mine decided to stand right in front of me well after that play. She did a good job. She blocked out better than most K-State players have done this season.
You've had worse things happen to you during your media career.
Yeah.
So,
yes, I have.
One thing I'd like to say about Pearson, without a hint of sarcasm, I would seriously consider starting him in the Big 12 tournament.
Okay, that brings me to
this. I think he brings a calming presence to this team. Even though he might not be as good as some other dudes, have him out there the first 3 minutes. Maybe you don't fall behind 15-3.
The ball moved so much better with him on the floor. It doesn't stick on his hands. He knows his role. If he's wide open or if he's got a back cut, that's his game. Other than that, catch the ball, move the ball.
Yeah, like I said, because Cardi can be a ball stopper, and then Mac might not even catch it, or he'll lose it when he gets it. So, I mean, there's something to be said about what you said about Pearson.
Yeah. He may not be the fastest guy, the most athletic guy, but he's probably the best fundamental guy by far on this team. That's not even comparable.
Smartest guy on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Smartest guy on the team.
Not comparable.
And I'm with you. If it's the right matchup, and I think TCU probably is, let him play. Let him play a little bit. He played 13 minutes, and I thought he had a sizable – did he play 13 minutes? Or was
25 minutes.
25 minutes. He was 13 on the plus-minus. So
I'd play him 10 minutes against TCU.
I would too. And if it works, play him a little bit more. I mean, because it worked. I noticed that K-State kind of let up off the gas, and then Coach Webber put him back in. It seemed like they'd get themselves going again. Now, he's not going to match up against every team. He doesn't match up against Baylor if that's whom they advance against. But
it would be, yes.
Yeah, that's who it would be.
There's no reseeding, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, KU would probably gladly take it if K-State said we'd like to play.
I had them playing a game in my little brain. I'm not used to Wednesday games.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I want to touch on this real fast. How about TCU in Oklahoma? Oklahoma.
That was a game.
And that game defines how miserable the bottom 8 of this conference is to me.
Ooh.
Oklahoma loses. They're down by 20 in the second half. They're playing Kansas State on Wednesday as the 7th seed. They rally, win by hitting a shot right before the buzzer, and they're the 3rd seed.
Only 2 teams in the league had winning records this year. Crazy.
Horrible. Horrible.
Oklahoma's not the 3rd best team in this conference.
No, you look at that matchup. They've got West Virginia, and you're like, I totally understand this game, but I thought it'd be the opposite. West Virginia as the 3rd seed, and Oklahoma as the 6th.
Who would you say is the 3rd best team, Chili Dog?
It's tough.
From after the 2 spot, that could be 4 or 5 teams.
Tech's kind of on the bubble, and yet I think that
Texas was dead to rights, and now look at them.
I might consider Oklahoma State the way
right now. Yeah,
to me, those are the 2 teams playing. I mean, leave KU and Baylor off in their corner of the world, but the 2 teams playing the best out of everybody else are Texas and who'd you just say?
Cowboys.
You mean even after Texas just got their brains beat in?
Well, yeah,
by
Oklahoma State who did it.
I think when they play their best, which it just seems like they go 2 games where they do that, and about 6 they don't, but it's West Virginia. I just think
they're the biggest disappointment to me.
Yeah, I mean, I just think with Culver and Sheboy, who again just basically didn't show up in either of the two K-State games, which and credit to K-State for that. But I just think if you're saying all of the other 8 teams when they're at their best, I would say West Virginia would be the best. That's just my opinion.
The two biggest disappointments are West Virginia and Texas Tech. I mean,
Texas Tech lost so much. I mean, I think they were overachieving for a while.
I might put Kansas State in the 2 biggest disappointments. I knew they were going to be bad, but this was bad. This was really bad.
Really? You would put them up there with West Virginia and Tech?
I thought they'd win 6 or 7. Yeah.
10-game losing streak. I mean, I didn't see that coming this year.
Well, I don't know that anybody saw it coming.
I would say I'm with you, though.
After where Texas Tech was, I mean, they didn't, no offense, I don't think they lost Brown, Stokes, and Dean Wade.
Well, they were both looking fine a month ago.
I know.
And then they just tanked.
Bottomed out.
Tech's lost by, they're the masters of losing by 3 to everyone. Doesn't matter how good or bad the opponent is.
Hang around and lose.
Uh-huh.
K-State shared the regular season last year, finishes 10th. Iowa State won the Big 12 tournament last year, finishes 9th. And Texas Tech, of course, shared the Big 12 tournament in their Big 12 title, and they're somewhere in the middle.
And national runner-up.
Yeah. Might not even make the tournament now.
I think they probably belong in. I mean, honestly, if you're going to put Texas or Oklahoma in, I think Tech's a better team. Just the eyeball test. I don't know.
Well, the problem with Tech is their best thing is they've got all these good-looking losses. They lose to Baylor in overtime. They lose to Kansas on the last play.
Kentucky
in overtime.
Yeah, they lose to Kentucky in overtime. I mean, I'd put that team in, but I don't think the committee's going to sit there and say, "Whoa, look at these nice-looking losses they got."
Send them to Dayton. Give them the Dayton treatment.
Yeah,
put the whole
fair.
Big 12 there.
They'll be like a 10 seed.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Just send 4 Big 12 teams to Dayton and let them sort it out again.
I think this is going to be the craziest NCAA tournament ever. Right?
I agree.
This season has just made no sense at all.
I agree.
I put it this way. I think one of those non-Power 6 league teams, not including Gonzaga, there's going to be someone in the Final Four, like a VCU, George Mason
someone
type.
jumps up. Yeah. San Diego State,
because the bracket's already going to fall apart and somebody's just going to catch fire. One of these small conference teams, the teams that are always stacked with seniors.
Right now, that Western bracket's looking like it's going to be Gonzaga and San Diego State as 1 and 2.
That'll be fun. I hope they both get there, but
I don't know.
In the same?
Yeah, that's what they're looking at. Yeah, since they lost, they slipped to the 2 and then keep them at home instead of sending them out east.
Dayton will be a 1 seed somewhere.
Yeah, Dayton. Looks like Dayton.
I'm going to say this partly because it's state high school basketball tournament week. If you're a high school coach and you want a great end of game play to run when it matters most this week, go watch the last play of the Belmont.
Yeah, I saw
game.
that. That was great.
First thing that went through my brain is, oh my God, what a great call, and somebody at the high school level needs that play for this week.
Backdoor cut to win a game.
They just go stick a guy in the baseline corner. The guy that plays it in goes to the right wing, comes back around over the top.
Kind of makes it look like he's trying to penetrate, so the guy moves out a little bit. And
the defender in the corner falls asleep, gets backdoored.
He's watching the guy, expects him to go to the hoop, and he loses the guy.
That Liberty team, that might be the team. I mean, they look really good.
Liberty in the Final Four. Get the hell out of here.
You know what? I never believed that I would say this in my life. I hope Dayton gets there.
Oh, I agree.
They can play.
What have you had a problem with the Dayton University in the past?
There's never been a need because Dayton was never going to get there.
No, sorry, UD, University of Dayton.
So I look back over the course of the season now, and I kind of wonder. I don't think the Big 12 is very good, and I recognize that Kansas is pretty darn good, but I'm having problems figuring out where in the long line of good Kansas teams where that fits, because I think there was more free wins out there for good teams like Baylor and Kansas in most seasons. So I'm not sure how good either one team is. They're both good, but I'm not sure how great either one is.
Yeah.
But I look around the country and I see the same thing at every other conference. This is a bad year in college basketball. And I think part of it, guys, honestly, what skews this is moving that three-point line back. It's tanked the shooting percentages from the outside and thus allowed defenses to let you take that shot. All of a sudden, the odds changed. Oh, you want to keep taking it and you're hitting 29%? That's fine. We're going to come back and back up a little bit and take away the middle. And it's actually packed the game back into the paint more, which was the opposite intent of what the rules makers were seeking. They were seeking to spread the floor, and it's allowed people now to let people take the three-point shot because kids stink at it. They've spent their whole life towing up to that 19.9 or 20 whatever, and now all of a sudden it's 2 feet back.
I'm going to be that one guy. I love it.
You love these old scores?
I love the fact that North Carolina is under 500. I love the fact that Duke has a stretch where they lose 3 out of 4. Or have you watched Florida State play?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a chance. I love it.
Well, you go back over the season now, and you look at a team like Pitt, which we thought was a bad loss. They beat Florida State.
I threw out Bradley. I mean, we're talking about worst losses for K-State. Look at them.
Yep. The Valley tournament, day one, the top 3 seeds lost their opening games. Bradley, the 4th seed, was the top seed in the quarters and won the tournament.
Oh, wow.
Or the semi, excuse me. Yeah.
Game on the next couple of weeks. I love it. This is the greatest sports month of the year, every year.
It really boosted K-State's strength of schedule.
Duke will win the ACC tournament.
Really important.
So who's picking K-State to win in Kansas City then? The whole thing?
The whole thing?
Oh, I thought you were going to say.
You paused. You took a breath there.
Oh, I thought you were going to say one game.
I'm not sure I'll go with one game, but I'm just going to throw out K-State's probably a 10-game winning streak away from a national championship and a losing record. That'd be a remarkable feat.
It would be.
Be a remarkable
They
feat.
would. They'd finish 20-21 with the national championship. They'd, win the whole thing the same year that they set this.
1983 Salina Central Mustangs.
Under 500.
Under 500, win a state
days.
title.
Alas, K-State has not won back-to-back games since November, so I don't know that that's a...
When was the last time they won back-to-back to whatever it is?
Well, they started 4-0.
Last season, they had the.
I don't know if they ever won 10 in a row, did they?
10 in a row. I thought you.
They won 9
what it's
straight
gonna take.
last year.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know.
You think they beat Power Frog?
I do.
Kellis?
No.
I
Fitz.
don't. I think that was their
I might have
last
picked
hurrah.
them against Oklahoma. I think it was bad news for them to get TCU.
Yeah, I don't like the matchup. Bane is the bane. of
TCU hits
K-State's existence.
They just like you talk about. No team can hit the 3. TCU is money from the 3-point line against K-State.
In the second matchup, I mean, they won a last-second basket.
Well, they made a lot of 3s in the first one too, though.
It will be telling to me to see the body language and spirit of the team. Are they ready just to be done? Or
I don't think so.
Or they want to prove something more here. I mean, they played Baylor pretty well with, in that first game with the exception of the start of the game. They beat them for the last 30, 35 minutes of the game pretty handily.
You done with your yoo-hoo?
Man,
It's not a yoo-hoo. It's
Wait,
it's
so
a nice
you're
call.
trying to push K-State into the semis now here?
I'm just saying,
K-State beats Power Frog, I think.
yeah, if they beat Power Frog and then
It's
they
a
feel good
toss-up.
about
I can see it
themselves.
either way.
Is that a Robert mentioned Power Frog?
No,
Is it a
it's me.
Wiley Walters?
He calls him something else.
Oh. I don't know. I'm just saying I saw glimpses of the team we thought we would see this season on Saturday.
I think
Well, I definitely
Xavier.
think they'd beat Iowa State if they played them again.
I think Xavier's going to carry his form into this next game and get 25-ish points, and they're going to win one game of the tournament.
I could see him beating the Frogs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
And
put
I just think
$100 on it. But
they'll probably have a good first half against Baylor, and then they're going to run out of gas, and that'll be.
Baylor, if they get past TCU, Baylor will beat them by 25.
Okay, we're going to take a break now. I got another Big 12 tournament topic to discuss on the other side of this little pause. We're brought to you by Commerce Bank. This is the PowerCat Insiders Podcast.
Stay locked in. The PowerCat Podcast will be right back.
Life as a parent is nonstop. I'm so focused on keeping my family healthy that I barely have time to take care of myself. If this sounds like you, then you need to give Symbiotica a try. Symbiotica is a health and wellness company that empowers individuals to take ownership of their health with high-quality formulas and supplements crafted to boost energy, immunity, gut health, and more. Symbiotica supplements are made with clean, natural ingredients, and they don't contain any toxins or artificial ingredients. Because they were designed for us, busy parents. They're quick and easy to take. Just a daily dose for your energy, immune system, and overall well-being. It's made staying consistent so much easier. And the best part? Symbiotica is having their holiday sale, so now's the perfect time to put your health in the driver's seat. Head to Symbiotica.com for 20% off with code GIFT20. That's CYMBIOTIKA.com with code GIFT20 for 20% off. Your health transformation journey starts now. Symbiotica Natural and Organic Supplements.
My days working, taking care of my little ones can be a lot. I checked out care.com and it was so easy for me to find local, experienced, and background check sitters. Finding our babysitter was way more affordable than I thought. Care.com makes it super easy. Search for qualified candidates. You can view their profiles, read reviews and ratings, check their availability, send messages directly, get the help that you need. Care.com should be every person's go-to.
We now send it back to Fitz in the WTC gig-powered studios.
Welcome back to the PowerCat Insiders Podcast, brought to you by Commerce Bank.
Life is full of moments big and small. Trust me, I'm in here every week. Commerce Bank has the technology and the people to help with whatever financial challenges come your way. Commerce Bank challenge accepted.
This is a big moment.
This is a challenge.
It's a challenge, okay.
Catfish, put your phone down.
We were on a commercial break.
No, we're not. We're recording.
We were.
I love that when you're on a podcast, a commercial break can be like 5 seconds, or it can be like 4 minutes, what that one was, as we looked up a movie quote.
Could have been 24. Could be 24 hours. You just never know how long these breaks are.
Let's hear the rant. I want to get it in.
Hold on. I got a topic here. So let's say
I tried that last week and it didn't work either.
Yeah. Let's say Kansas State wins. I saw a tweet.
You mean Wednesday night?
What?
Wednesday night.
Beats TCU.
Okay.
I saw a tweet Wednesday night in favor of the inequity of Kansas as the top seed than playing Oklahoma State instead of Kansas State, because there's a vast difference in those two teams coming out of a Wednesday night win. Now, the problem with it is you would be asking Kansas State to play at 8 p.m. and 1 p.m. if you reseeded the tournament at that point and let Kansas play the lowest advancing seed.
So you're talking about doing it like the NFL.
Yeah. Now, the reason they don't is it breaks the bracket, and then the team playing the late game plays an early game, and nobody really wants that. Like Kansas would need an advantage at that point. But I understand the thought here that why the hell is the top seed playing anything but the lowest seed advancing from the first round?
It's just one seed different, most likely.
Well,
Maybe
usually it's 8 and 7 going through, but this is going to be, I don't know, just saying, 8 and 10.
It would be more appropriate to reseed it, but I'm with you. The logistics involved make it kind of impossible. I mean, that's why the regular NCAA tournament doesn't do it.
If you have a UConn game and you go like 6 overtimes and you're done at midnight, no.
Well, that's what happened in the Final Four, the Elite Eight. Kansas State out in Utah. They played the late game, and then CBS turned them around.
Made the early game. It was, granted, they had another day, but yeah, it was still very unfair. Yep.
Didn't work too well.
Here it is.
I mean, I don't.
Oh, no.
I don't. Well, I was just saying, I don't think there's. I think, like I said, it's one of those things where it works better in theory than in practice.
Right.
Well,
kind of like this podcast.
what do you think? Because I mean, I know the other rumor's always been like, well, maybe they would think about maybe reseeding the Final Four because there's so much. There's at least a week gap.
That I agree with.
I don't.
The only way you can make it happen is if, say, you held those first games like on campus in advance of the tournament. And then just send the winners off. You don't actually see.
You mean the first four or the first round?
The first round.
The first
the first round of the Big 12 tournament.
Two games on Tuesday, which isn't a horrible
It's fine.
idea.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, I know.
Do you guys think they should bring back a third place game in the NCAA? Because
my God, no!
Well,
Get out! Please
tell me that's not your rant.
Speaking of rants, shut his mic off.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get him out.
You're not really going to push for a third place game.
No offense at the high school level. They shouldn't play the third place game. You're done. You're not talking the rest of this podcast.
Rants.
You really asked that? Play a third place game in the NCAA tournament?
I mean, why not?
No, don't talk.
Chili dogs on fire.
Don't talk. Are you kidding me?
This is the PowerCat Insiders Podcast.
I'm with
Play
Pat
a
here.
third place game and
Look, the reason it's on my
Go soak
mind.
your head 3 times and pull it out twice.
The only reason it's on my mind is because.
No, stop. We're not talking about that. Go to your rant. You cannot be serious. You brought up a third-place game. You want to play a third-place game in the NIT? How about the WNIT? How about the CBI?
How about the Big 12 tournament? Have a 5th-place game, too.
I love you, Catfish, but I cannot believe that came out of your gills.
Well, I didn't say that they
I can't
should
believe
do
they ever
it.
did it.
I just asked your guys'
Boy, that was fun.
opinion.
Even if
about
it was the 1950s, weren't the coaches playing that game like, why the hell are we playing this game? Who cares about third? We just lost a shot at the national championship. I don't want to play a game.
You know I was having fun with you.
Well, yeah. I just want to make sure I bring up the reason why it's on my mind is because when K-State played Baylor and KU back-to-back, it mentioned that was the first time they had done it since the Final Four when they had to play a third-place game.
Oh, I'd missed that.
Yeah, that was the last time K-State had played the same, 1-2 in the same week was.
Dynamite drop in.
Yeah, so
I really enjoyed that, just so you
thought
know.
I would.
I just thought maybe you have a really cool 3rd-place trophy at home or something.
Well,
you think
needless to say, I don't know. Do I need to rant now? Because it seems like Matt kind of stole my thunder.
I stole your thunder. I sat on your thunder. Hey, speaking of, you know what a great third-place trophy would be? Did you see from the XFL yesterday? The beer snake?
Yeah. That was awesome.
So who was drinking at the end of that thing? Were they just rotating?
I don't know.
That would be disgusting.
Just a stack of cups going up like 40 rows.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be worried about the coronavirus, and from that, probably the Miller Lite virus.
Or Natty Light.
Yeah, whatever's pouring through that virus. Yeah.
Hey, so beer, they didn't have a problem with it Bramlage this year.
What's your rant?
I think it might be one that I've kind of done before, but this is
No, really?
But
third place game, and now we're redoing a rant?
It's
You're
only
done.
because
done.
It happened so much that I wish I could be deputized and make citizens arrest because I hate people who lurk in the left lane. I absolutely hate them.
Barney 5.
Well, look,
if
people would listen to my first rant, then they wouldn't keep doing this stupid crap. And I'm having to censor myself because it makes me so mad. God, stay out of the left lane if you're going to be a slowpoke. Just stay out of the lane.
I had someone today.
Get off the road. Stop interrupting the flow of interstate commerce. That's what they're doing. They're restricting the flow of interstate commerce. Because they only care about themselves.
Old third place.
God. Hate them.
Now?
Hate them.
Now?
Yeah, he's got a 3rd-place game to go cover, Matt.
Yeah.
Right when Anderson gets down to one lane before you hit into Bluemont, someone got pulled in front of me. They had to merge. Okay, I get it. And goes 22 miles an hour with a green light. And I'm like, okay, you're going to make the green light. How about me and the guy behind me? Will you put some mustard on this sandwich here? Let's go, man. Let's go. We got stuff to do. I've got an Insiders podcast. And by the way, I've got a second Insiders podcast after you guys. I'm bringing in a whole new crew.
Wait, how can they How can they be the insiders, too, if we're the insiders?
They're a different group of insiders.
So, I mean, what
They're a Big 12 insiders. We're going to talk the entire Big 12 tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, who are the insiders?
Old third place.
Jay Heydrich, who's not really an insider. He's a former K-State player.
He doesn't know squat.
He had Kevin Flaherty from the 24/7 Network, and Riley Gates, who's not really an insider either. We're talking about.
That sounds like an amazing podcast.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh man,
it's going to be particularly challenging because 2 of them will be on the phone.
Well, that's all I'm saying is, guys, if people would listen to my first rant, I would need to rant about this.
Still on this?
No, you're done.
Time to shift gears. Kansas State baseball goes to Stanford and teaches the Cardinal a few things, taking the series 3-1.
K-State's lights out. Their ERA was just barely over 2 in that series.
It was unbelievable.
It's the first time. This is mind-blowing.
Their pitching's amazing.
First time in the history of K-State baseball that they've gone into Pac-12 territory and won a series.
Oh, wow.
And granted, Stanford's on the struggle bus right now.
But they were picked 3rd in the Pac-12.
Right.
So,
but K-State kept them on the struggle bus.
K-State won the first game Friday, lost the first game of the doubleheader Saturday, then laid the smack down, won 11-1 in the nightcap on Saturday, and then yesterday behind Jordan Wicks and company won 6-1. Their last, I think they've won 6 of the last 7, and in all of those games that they've won, they've allowed 1 run.
It's amazing.
Matt, how long have you covered K-State baseball?
This is my 26th year.
Where does this pitching staff?
The weekend rotation will potentially be the best ever.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Who was the fourth pitcher they used out there in the start?
Casey Ford.
Yeah, Ford.
They went with Seymour, McCullough, and then Ford, and then Wicks, which is what they'll do more often than not. It'll be interesting this week to see what K-State does on Tuesday and Wednesday with the Jackrabbits coming to town.
South Dakota State, and then Eastern Michigan rolls in. I don't know. I would doubt that Ford would. He's not going to pitch from a Saturday to a Wednesday, but and before you know it, this is a 9-game homestand coming up. Next week, it's Nebraska, and then Fosse Bear comes to town to start Big 12 play. So it's going to be interesting.
I can't believe schools in Eastern Michigan and South Dakota have baseball teams.
That's crazy, isn't
South
it?
Dakota State.
That's the difference between South Dakota State and me. They have hairs. Jackrabbits.
You're about done, too. That was not very good. That was terrible. That was
I mean,
it took me a minute, but
well, it is people.
I thought it was going to be a Mount
joke.
Rushmore joke.
Well, it's a joke that only lands if people know what you look like, Fitz. I mean, I guess
Everyone knows what I look like.
I mean, I guess
People just pull me up on the WWW. Stare at me.
Come watch the Cats, though.
the Bat Cats.
They're going to be good.
I know. It's going to be a fun baseball
It's going
season.
to be fun.
Getting good pitching in college baseball changes the experience dramatically. It does. You don't get these obnoxious games all the time.
He may have said it when you had him on, what was that, a month ago maybe?
The Power Chat.
Pete Hughes, pitching and defense is what this team's built around, and the offense is coming around, like we talked about.
It's going to be fun.
Darren Sperlin had a 5 RBI game over the weekend. So that's an awesome series. I felt for the baseball team because they lost 3 hours over the weekend. They go west, 2-hour time change, and then they lose the hour on Saturday night.
Which I don't like.
I know.
I just remember that chat because of like the amazing hat that he brought to your studio.
Oh, man.
But I know D. Scott was giving him a stink eye from the sideline. It's like, whoa, that's my hat.
Or the cabbie hat. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was so Boston.
Oh, man.
He might as well.
Did he bring a cab here?
He might as well have worn a shirt that said, "I'm Irish and I'm from Boston." Because that's what he looked like.
You should have had him in here to be on the thing that you guys used to drink. Whatever that one was called.
Oh, that would be good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lasted like 4 episodes.
I heard that's the last time you seen Josh Kinder. Did he go on a bender or something after that?
I haven't seen Justin.
I'm just joking, but
No,
like
it actually is.
Riley said that was the last time you guys had seen or heard from him, so I just want to make sure he was okay.
Yeah, he's okay.
Good.
Yeah.
He did tweet this morning, folks, so he's good. That I know of.
That was one of the best ideas poorly executed on my part. The sample. Sit around, sample drinks, talk about sports. It was a grand idea that didn't work. And then we got the Tannehill and Spiller podcast out of it, so it all worked.
Yeah.
Which was very
Better
popular.
give Peyton Williams some love.
Oh,
There we go.
Top 9 all-time scorer in K-State history.
Women are not even on the bubble as we speak.
Probably not.
Ah, man. They're playing pretty well.
WNIT, though.
Yep. Host.
Which might be a good thing for this team.
Hey, good for them to have a 10-8 conference season. I mean, they finished top 5. They would have been the 4th seed, but the unthinkable happened on Sunday up in Ames. Iowa State beat Baylor, who was trying for a 3rd straight unbeaten conference run. Doesn't really affect Baylor, but that made Iowa State the 4th seed in the women's tournament and K-State the 5th seed. So they play one another on Friday.
I'll be at that game.
Good.
I'm going.
I'm going to say this. I'm not going to go on another rant. I fully extended myself earlier. But the Big 12 basketball tournaments, plural, should both always, repeat, always be in Kansas City.
I agree.
There is no reason to move them anywhere else.
I agree.
Was
Sending this
attendance
to the Big
bad
12?
when they put the women's down south?
Terrible.
Horrible.
Really? Even around Baylor? You couldn't get anybody to come watch?
Terrible.
Yeah, it was. It is what it is. I mean, if you've got fans in town and they're free, the times don't conflict, which unfortunately happens. They'll go to the women's game and the crowds are great. And Municipal's awesome. It's an awesome bit. I don't know what the locker rooms and all that stuff look like, but from a fan experience, that historic building is amazing.
I think they've done a little remodeling work in there lately.
I think they have too.
But it should always be in Kansas City.
Isn't it an 11 a.m. Friday game?
Yes.
I personally think, and I know they probably would never accomplish this, I think Kansas City should try to get the first 4 away from Dayton and put it in Muni.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
A little more centralized.
Dayton's a
bigger airport.
Dayton's a real bitch to get to on short notice.
Yep.
Let me tell you. I've done it.
You got a potty mouth today.
His kids aren't home. You have to set an example. They're not going to listen to this podcast.
Shipped off to the grandparents.
You can. I mean, they say that word on standard broadcast shows.
Oh, you're fine.
I mean, it's just a female dog.
You're fine.
How many people would be in the Sprint Center?
People go to it in Dayton, though.
Oh,
I don't know why.
I agree.
But
I agree.
But they don't have anything else. I mean, it's a big deal to have the first 4.
I will be interested this season, now that they've had really high-level basketball, if this will mean as much to them.
Yeah, it might
because
not.
they'll have a team that's going to be a 1 or 2 seed.
The next level of fans will be able to get to it, so I'm going to say yes.
I'm old. I missed the Big 12, Big 8 women's tournament being in Salina, where they would get 3,000 or 4,000
in
people.
Salina?
The Bicentennial. Sorry. Then Bicentennial Center.
The
Tony's Pizza Event Center.
Yeah, they'd get 3,000-4,000 per session.
In Salina.
Yeah.
But they would have.
How long ago was this?
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, it's
90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's when I was sports editor in Salina. But they would.
I guess they did always sometimes have the women's
different groups
conference.
would adopt different teams,
right.
So everyone would have a fan base of some sort.
Huh.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's wild.
It's fun. The Salina Journal covered it like it was the Olympics.
Can I say one other thing kind of from left field?
Absolutely.
If you have not seen any of it on Twitter or followed them at all, boy, I tell you, I really hope Northwest Missouri wins the D2 title again. They are freaking good. And really the one team that's given them fits all year is Missouri Southern, and they beat them by 2 in the finals again. Northwest Missouri's legit, partly because Trevor Hudgens is from Manhattan, and that kid, tournament MVP, I mean, he's a stud. So go Bearcats.
Lead the nation in 3-point.
Ben McCollum is going to be a hot name at the Division I level before long. You wait. Somebody's going to hire him.
Can I throw out something here?
Bring it.
Absolutely.
You mentioned the first 4. What I would like to see on top of it, moving from Dayton, would be I would love it if they just let the 16 seeds go straight into the bracket, and the first 4 was all
that it should be. It should be.
So
because those are already cash-strapped schools that are having.
Send 8 of those teams there, play for the final 4 at-large spots.
Yep.
They're all on the fence anyway.
Yep.
That seems like the best
100%.
way to decide who belongs.
I'm saying, like,
bracket.
the bigger schools from these bigger conferences, they already have a bigger travel budget.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get some of these, again, like you said, teams from the one-bid leagues. I mean, they're already usually struggling as it is.
Let's be honest.
I think the NCAA pays for their trip.
Well, no, I agree. I wish they didn't have the first 4,
that's
honestly.
my thing. I think the first 4 is a joke.
Well, I will say, having been there live, like the K-State Wake Forest game was maybe the highest intensity game I've ever watched, just because both teams knew if they lost, they weren't advancing. And that's probably why it's the only time I've ever seen K-State score 95 points.
Yeah.
Because they were really motivated to win.
And then they got the real bracket.
However, getting there and then getting to the next round was horrible. It was a nightmare.
That was ridiculous.
But the game itself was really cool.
Play in Dayton, go to Sacramento.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them doing that. Usually they
you could just tell
locate those teams close by.
When we got to Sacramento and talked to them, you could tell there's no way they're winning this game. They're just so drained already.
Anything else?
I don't think so, man. I don't. Oh, lovely weather other than the rain.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be warm today, and then I guess this rain just moved. I thought when I looked at my weather thing yesterday, it's supposed to be like 70 today.
Well, you must not have had your eyes open.
I could have been looking at Frankfurt or somewhere. Who knows? Frankfurt. I have an aunt and family who lives in Frankfurt, Germany, not Frankfurt, Kansas, or Frankfurt, Kentucky.
Spelled differently.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yes, it is. Yes, Frankfurt, Germany is spelled differently than Frankfurt, Kentucky, or Frankfurt here.
I believe I saw the Frankfurt boys advance to the state tournament.
They did.
They are the Wildcats.
Centralia girls.
And they should be the Ers.
Valley Heights, boys and girls. MHS, by the way, we have to mention MHS.
That's right. Saw
Trevor
their
Hudgens.
sub-state games last week.
Trevor Hudgens is alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the baseball schedule real quick for the week.
South Dakota State, Tuesday night, Wednesday night at 6. And then 6, 4, and 1, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Cats in Eastern Michigan.
You will be on the call?
Yes.
Very
First
good.
2 on the radio, the next 3 on TV.
Will you be on TV?
Yes.
Oh,
very
no.
little. Very little.
Folks, the benefit of a podcast is you can't see us.
Yeah. Well, wait. What about? I think I'm a decent looking fella.
You are a handsome
In
chap.
what world?
Your nickname is Catfish.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a.
Say no more.
That's a good place to wrap a bow around this thing and maybe drop it in the lake. This has been
The river.
This has been the Insiders Podcast.
You don't go noodling in the lake. You go noodling in the river.
Oh man.
Let's not think of noodling and catfish.
This has been fun.
Go away, everyone. Come back later.
March Madness. Here we go.
You've been listening to the PowerCat Insiders Podcast, presented by Commerce Bank. PowerCat Podcast. All rights reserved. GoPowerCat.com and Spirit Street Publishing.
With Blue Link Plus, you can access your Hyundai Tucson Limited remotely. Doors unlocked, temperature set, lost car found.
There it is.
Get complimentary class-leading Blue Link Plus. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.